All evening in the foothills to kick off this critical home-and-home series to help sort out the Wild West. Bombers, Stampeders colliding at McMahon Stadium.
Tonight we have the #1 run game in the league versus the #1 passing attack. Andrew Harris leads the league in rushing in virtually every category and is 129 yards away from a personal best season. Bo Levi Mitchell doesn't lead the league in passing yards because he missed 7 games, but his team does. Bo's averaged 362 yards passing per game in the last 4.
It's the regular season finale for Dave Dickinson Stampeders. They need a win to reclaim first place in the West. They've won 5 of their last 6. And on the other sideline, Mike O'Shea's Bombers need to sweep the series to assure themselves a home playoff date. Bombers won the first meeting of the year back in August, 26-24. Winnipeg has not won a season series against Calgary since 2002.
This has a playoff feel to it, and I believe this is going to be a rip snorter.
Terry Williams, Josh Huffer back. Stampeders won the toss and emphatically said they wanted the football.
Bo said, "I want the ball."
Dustin Medlock will kick things off. And a booming kick drives Williams back inside his end zone. Terry Williams to the 20.
There you go.
He gets nailed. That'll tell you Kerfalak Zume with the big special teams tackle to help set the tone.
That rattled him a little bit. That's how you know it's going to be a physical game, when on the opening kickoff you see this kind of contact.
That's the 24th special teams tackle and one of the best for Exume.
Terry Williams got up just a little bit shaken from that hit, not surprisingly. What a way to start.
Bo Levi Mitchell, 10-2 in his career against Winnipeg. Goes to work, got some time, gotta go deep, wants Eric Rogers, and on the money, down inside the 35-yard line. A big start for Bo Levi Mitchell, airing it out to Eric Rogers for 55 yards.
How about the time to throw for Bo Levi Mitchell, sitting back in that pocket, just looking to his right, waiting for Eric Rogers, got his throwing lane, zero pressure from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in play #1. Just sent 4 players in on the other end. Eric Rogers blocks out the DB to make the opening catch.
And with that quick start, Rogers only 14 away from a second 1,000-yard season. First down, Stampeders. And a quick hitter here. The ball dropped by Bingleton. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
6-2 since returning to the lineup from injury. Missed the 7 games, but Bo Levi Mitchell 75-17-2 as a starter in the Canadian Football League. Start number 95. There are still 2 teams in the league that he hasn't lost to: the Toronto Argonauts and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And guess what? He plays very well against Winnipeg.
23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 8 300-yard games against the Bombers. 2nd and 10. Here comes Heat, and he'll step up.
Got him.
Rogers, and he can't make the catch. Got to step in behind Winston Rose, and usually makes that catch in the end zone.
Well, you can't throw it any better. The first 3 throws of this game for Mitchell been on the money. 1 deep to Eric Rogers, caught. That set up this field position. And then 2 drops back-to-back by his best 2 receivers, his top guys. Bingleton dropped that quick hitch and curl, and this never happens in Eric Rogers' office. You don't see that very often at all. That hit him right in the hands.
So Paredes will come on and attempt a 41-yarder. Up and good, and on the strength of that 55-yard completion to Rogers, the Stampeders get on the board first on a Paredes field goal, but it could have been more, but for the drop from the usually reliable Eric Rogers.
Maybe it's the sun or that sun on you.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, ranked #1 in quality by GD Power. expecting a quality matchup today. A fast start by the Stampeders coming out of the gate with that 55-yarder. Let's see what Chris Strevler's got in his opening series. Snapping a 3-game losing streak with a win against Montreal last week. With Andrew Harris in the backfield, he'll roll and throw, and incomplete, intended for Dembski.
Contrasting styles at quarterback in this one tonight. You've got Bo Levi Mitchell with his airstrike ability that we just saw. If not for 2 drops, he's 3 for 3 and a touchdown. And the top running quarterback in the league, and Chris Strevler leads all quarterbacks and has set a Bomber record for rushing as a QB.
#1 rush team in the league, but it's 2nd and 10 and 6 receivers out. Short drop, wide side, and the catch made by Lucky Whitehead. Darvin Adams not in the game. It'll be well short of the first down, and the punt team comes on after a 2 and out to start for the Blue Bombers.
Bombers have to feel a little bit fortunate that they had the 2 drops. Calgary, that was some kind of airstrike right out of the gate from Bo Levi Mitchell.
Williams back, Medlock just gets it away. And Williams fields this at the 30. Met at the 35, flags come down. Brandon Alexander leading the charge downfield. 40-yard punt, and it looks like Urgi Mayala was flagged on the play.
During the return, illegal block, Calgary #1. That penalty's declined. While the ball was in flight, holding Calgary #32. From where possession was gained, we're going to go back 10 yards, first down Calgary.
So Asnell Robo also flagged on the play. They back it up to the 21. There's the starting offensive lineup for the Stamps.
3rd receiver in the league, #3 in the league behind Brandon Branks and Brian Burnham. And first start for Ante Leader at tailback. Derek Dennis missed last week. He's back.
Montgomery Williams at center, and here is Leader, who had such an impressive outing last week and earns his first start to this, his 39th game in the league, but gets stuffed and loses a yard on that.
Personal best season for Willie Jefferson in the sack department. He's got 12 on the season, also leads the league in knockdowns with 15. I call them bat downs for the guys up front. Marcus Rios will play for Anthony Gator at the Sam. And back in the secondary, Brandon Alexander moves to safety for Jeff Heck.
Leader of the backfield, and Adam Bighill on the scene defensively to drag him down, and that's 2 and out for the Stampeders. The Bombers going to get the football right back.
Quick 2 and out, good field position with an excellent returner back there. Arian Grant has 3 touchdowns on the season.
And 2 of them against the Stampeders in that first meeting. 76 and 83-yard punt returns. Ever dangerous. Takes this at the 43. Sidesteps 1 and then gets swarmed near the 50-yard line. Chase Middleton, one of the first downfield. So Chris Strevler will go back to work, trailing by 3 early in this one at McMahon. Well, there's the formula for success, isn't it? Number 33, essential for the Bombers.
Yeah, Maddie mentioned it off the top of the show that it's pretty simple math. The 17-2 record when Andrew Harris gets 20 touches. That's 5 a quarter. Start feeding him the rock, get him the football, because he leads in virtually every category. Rushing, yards, 100-yard games, average at 6.3. He has the longest run on the season at 56.
16 yards away from 14,000. He'd be the 7th player to hit that mark. Went McManus the tackle on Andrew Harris's first carry of the night.
You mentioned Darvin Adams. He's out, so Lucky Whitehead will move to his spot, and I think hopefully for Bomber fans, that means that Lucky Whitehead will see the football a lot more. He's been a little bit quiet in this sort of back half of the season here, and Mr. Bryant and Mr. Hardrick meet Mr. Cordero Law and Chris Casher. That's going to be the matchup to watch tonight. And the opposite, the other two tackles for Calgary against Willie Jefferson and Jeffco.
Just 2 for Harris, 2nd and 8. Strebler back to pass, and he has a connection at the 42. That's a catch for Kenny Lawler, but it's going to be short of the first down by what looks like a full yard. Jamari Gilbert in without Trey Roberson in the lineup. It's on the corner.
It's a healthy yard, isn't it? I mean, this is by no means fall forward gimme on short yardage here. Kenny Lawler is their leading receiver. He's ranked 24th in the Canadian Football League.
Mike Miller checks in along with Cody Speller, and here we go. They need over a yard, and plunging ahead, he should have it. Chris Strebler reaching the 44-yard line to move the chains.
It helps that Strebler is such a strong runner. I mean, he's like a tailback slash fullback when he runs the ball. Let's take a look at the Calgary defense. There's Cordero Law, 10 sacks on the season. That's 3rd in the CFL in a tie. Go back to the linebacking core. Basically, their starters are back. You've got Jamar Wall back after taking care of family, and he is back in the lineup. They need him and his veteran savvy. And last home game of Brandon Smith's career. More on that as this game goes on.
Special day for him. Here's the quarterback option, and Chris Strebler runs across midfield and into Calgary territory.
I should say last regular season game.
Yep.
We don't know if it's his last home game because they may host one in the playoffs.
He's planning for 2 more home games.
Exactly.
Get there, Western Final or a Western semifinal, and then
the Cup.
The Cup. 107th Grey Cup is here. He's already been in 6 Cups and one of 3 Calgary Stampeders who's won 3 Grey Cups along with Alondra Johnson. 11 for Strebler. Back in the hands of Harris, left side, and crashes down to the 49-yard line. Nate Hawley, the tackle, 6 yards for number 33, the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League.
Dave Dickinson during the week talk about the challenge against when you play against the Bombers in their run game. Because of their lateral motion with their receivers, they like to put Dembski in motion. They'll put Lucky Whitehead in motion across the field. Sort of widens the ends and opens up the gaps a little bit more for Andrew Harris.
2nd and 4. A pump, and Strebler's going to run again, and he'll get the first down. Jamar Wall, the tackle. Chris Strebler moving the chains. Andrew Harris last week, 166 yards on the ground. That's the 2nd highest total this season, rushing in the CFL.
Yeah, and there is that number again. He's over the 20 touches, 20 carries from the backfield at 24 against Montreal, enough to snap a 3-game losing streak.
And he wants to play in the snow in November. First down, Nick Dembski's in the backfield, and a nice move by Dembski, weaving his way through the secondary, and a terrific first down run for Dembski. That's an 18-yarder, and the Bombers moving it on the ground, and I think this was what everybody anticipated would be their formula for success today.
Yeah, do what brung you. I mean, do what you've done well all season, and this is what the Bombers have done very well all season. Almost 150 yards rushing a game.
Stamps the 2nd best run defense in the league, averaging 90.8 yards a game against. A fake to Harris, and Whitehead drops the ball. The last dozen games, Lucky Whitehead has averaged only 28 yards receiving.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a mystery as to what happened, because in his 2nd game of the year, which was the Bombers' 2nd game against Edmonton, he had 7 for 155 and sort of arrived with a huge bang, and then a couple of games later, remember the 2 kick returns.
Yep.
134 yards of returns and a touchdown, 104-yarder, and everybody was saying, who is Lucky Whitehead? And oh my God, they've got another weapon. Since then, he's really sort of disappeared in this offense.
2nd and 10, 9th play of the drive. Strebler underneath, Dembski has it, but he's corralled by McManus at the 25-yard line. No gain on the play, and the field goal unit will come on.
I know they're short plays, so you could say they're almost longer extension running plays when you're just sort of dumping the ball. One to Lucky Whitehead that he dropped, and that other to Dembski, but a little surprising in the play calling from Paul LaPolice at that point. I mean, he run the ball successfully to get it there and then went 2 passes and are kicking a field goal.
No 32-yard attempt for Medlock. 145 kicking points this year. And from 32 out, he hits his 32nd field goal of the year. And the game is tied. Just under 5 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Was win number 75 last week in that terrific showdown against the Saskatchewan Roughriders for Bo Levi Mitchell.
#1 winning percentage. I don't think we can emphasize it enough. I mean, truly remarkable. You're looking at start number 95 and just 17 losses.
And with that first completion to Eric Rogers, the odometer clicked over 27,000 yards for number 19 all time. Has some time here, and over the middle, and there is the breakout kid from last week, Herji Mayala. Had a terrific game against the Roughriders, including a pair of touchdowns, his first in the Canadian Football League.
Well, the Bombers are going to have to figure out a way to get a little more pressure on Mitchell than this, because on those 2 deep ones, the first pass to Eric Rogers right out of the gate, and this last throw over the middle to Mayala, 24-yard gain. He stood back there with tons of time.
A 24-yard connection, first down at the Bomber 51. Out of his hands quickly and out of the hands of Terry Williams, unable to make the catch. You could say that Mitchell's 3 for 6 with 3 drops so far.
Yeah, 3 drops, and you know he's 10-2 against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers career. And one of those games was in 2014, November 1st, when they had 15 wins and basically wrapped up the division. I don't think he played near not even half of that game. So he's essentially 10-1.
3-man front for Winnipeg. Jackson Jeffcoat back in the game. Mitchell's got time, guns it wide open. Josh Houck. Alexander drags him down, but Josh Houck's inside the 10-yard line.
Well, you got to take a look at what they're doing to try and contain this guy here who's having a monster year in Willie Jefferson. We'll start to watch that. They get a little chip on him, make sure they get Ante Leader over there just checking for him. And he goes out and around the horn, and Bo Levi Mitchell steps up in the pocket and finds Huff.
Up 3 for 21 last week against Saskatchewan. First catch today, 42 yards, and sets up first and goal. Short drop over the middle. Touchdown, Reggie Begelton. No wonder Bo Levi Mitchell wanted the ball out of the gate. He's on fire to start here tonight.
4-man pressure, and down near the goal line, it's tough to cover because of those quick inside routes, and Reggie Begelton just gets that inside position, but Mitchell has been on to start this one.
4 plays, 75 yards, and Begelton, number 3 in the league in receiving, has his 8th touchdown catch of the season. And they go for 2. They're 7 for 12 in these 2-point attempts. Rogers with 3 of them. And to the back of the end zone, it's a 2-point play for Richie Sindani. Mitchell already 135 passing yards and a touchdown and a 2-pointer in this opening quarter, and it's 11-3 Stamps.
Take a look at the route running from Begelton and the stem. He's going to get Rios, that Sam linebacker, leaning to the outside. See that little stem there? That gets him moving that way, and then he's going to cut back across his face, get inside position, and Bo puts it between the 8 and the 4 right where he needed to. And with all that kind of time, even when on this 2-point convert, Winnipeg for the first time, I think tonight, went with a little more pressure, but Bo had the corner route wide open to Sandani.
Seven touchdowns in the last 7 games for Reggie Begelton. Lucky Whitehead drops back with Janarian Grant. Drive and Grant from his 4. And here's Grant, hits the hole and takes off. Janarian Grant just out near midfield. They'll mark him at the 54, but each time he gets his hands on the football, the opposing team has got to be wary.
Well, we mentioned the 3 touchdowns, and he's had 4 big plays. I believe this will be number 5, over 30 yards in the return game. So he can take it back anytime. I mean, and the Calgary Stampeders throughout the season have had their issues with their cover teams.
That's the 11th big return this year for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and they do have 4 touchdown returns. Sets up Chris Strebler near midfield. And a quick hitter here. Catch is made, and it's Rasheed Bailey. A 6-yard play to the Calgary 50-yard line. Jamar Wall the stop, but Bailey the top receiver last week against Montreal.
Well, based on the strength of the Bomber offense, which is their run game, they can't afford to slip too far behind. They've got to keep pace here with points. Tougher to come back when your passing game ranks 9th in the CFL.
2nd and 4. They swing it to Dembski, gets a block, and Dembski's going to be close to that first down. Wint McManus, the middle linebacker, in on the tackle.
I think it's safe to say Michael O'Shea feels like he can go and get it if it's a yard, yard and a half, and maybe even 2 when he has Chris Strebler at quarterback.
They're 27 of 29 this year on those 3rd down plays. And it is 3rd and inches. Brent Monson's defense digs in. Strebler straight ahead, and he'll have the first down. So the first downs are even at 4 apiece. But some big plays through the air by Calgary has the Stampeders in front. Bombers trying to drag this game into the trenches. First down at the Calgary 45. They fake the jet sweep, give it to Harris, and he's down to the 40-yard line, about 5 more, and that's the final play of the opening quarter. Stamps had 2 big passing plays in that first quarter, 55 and 42 yards. Longest play for Winnipeg, 18, and so advantage Calgary after 15 minutes.
Well, Bo Levi Mitchell is 6 for 9, but those 3 were drops, flat drops. And if the Bombers can't get more pressure on Mitchell in this game, it's over. I mean, this guy, we showed you his win-loss record, and that's when you're, playing football and getting pressure on him. He has been sitting back in that pocket, and not only can you have a coffee back there, but it's a special coffees that take about 20 minutes to order.
We talked about this on the way to the game today. If Winnipeg can grind it out on the ground, not only can they have success, but they keep Mitchell off the field.
That's right. They can dominate the time of possession with a real good ground game, but they're going to have to keep moving the chains. Right now, Mitchell sitting back there and ordering the double latte with almond milk and
little pumpkin spice at this time of year. 2nd and 5. And get it in the hands of Rasheed Bailey, and he's got another first down catch. Bailey really made an impression last week, 5 for 86. And Mike O'Shea talked a lot about his work ethic, a 100-mile-an-hour in practice every day, and maybe he should have been in a little earlier.
Good timing on the throw to get it there. And now you see one of the reasons that Bo Levi Mitchell took the ball and they won the toss. Starting to mix rain and snow here.
No first down. Strebler trying to set up the screen. Well read and not going anywhere. Cordero Law drags down Andrew Harris for a loss.
Well, you heard David Sanchez on the panel talk about it earlier. There's Zach Collaros, who's picked up in a trade just before the deadline by Kyle Walters and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Traded from the Toronto Argonauts for a 5th-round pick in 2020. And many discussing whether or not they should put Zach Collaros in the game if the team starts struggling offensively. He's a pocket passer.
It was beautiful here a half hour ago. It's snowing now. Strebler pulls it down and takes off and runs over people down to the 26-yard line. Be short of the first down, but that's a 13-yard run to send a message to that Stamp defense.
Well, it is, and it's one of the reasons that I think Michael O'Shea, even though there's lots of discussion on if Zach Collaros should play, and maybe it become a tandem situation with both Strebler and Collaros, I don't think Mike O'Shea wants to do that. I think he wants to stay loyal to Strebler and let this be Strebler's team. And if he could take him to the playoffs, he's done that, take him into the playoffs and win games there. I mean, he wants to stick with Strebler, and runs like that sort of validate the thought.
Medlock in. This attempt from 34 yards out. With a pretty stiff breeze at his back now, and Medlock splits the uprights. It's a 5-point Stampeder lead. Let's go down to the sidelines. Here's Jermaine Franklin.
Thanks, EC. And as you know, in Calgary, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes and look what we have right now. But as mentioned earlier, Trey Roberson is not in tonight's game because he suffered a concussion on the first defensive play of the game last week. Dave Dickinson admitted it's a heavy loss for his defense because Roberson and his 7 interceptions is considered to be their defensive player of the year this year. Now, if there is a silver lining, Dave Dickinson found it. It's the fact that Roberson, after a play, took himself out of the game with the help of teammates as well. He says that proves that the concussion education of the players is working. And the fact that Roberson did work out this week, he is on his way making progress. But in that sense, they always err on the side of caution.
And the leader just coughed it up, and Marcus Sales with a scoop and score for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Check the hands. Ante Leader getting a chance to start after his big game versus Saskatchewan last week. Let's see how this fumble was caused. He bounces to the outside. Dickinson was pleasantly surprised with his ability to get outside. He didn't get around the edge that time because Marcus Sales, coming off a 2-interception game against Montreal, scoop and score.
That's a 6th touchdown for the Winnipeg defense, and Leader getting some support on the sidelines, but what a turning point here. Bombers get the convert and have the lead. 13-11 on a defensive touchdown as Marcus Sales forces the fumble and then scoops it up and heads to the end zone.
There's a drink for that.
Friday Night Football continues next week, a special live fight game, and part 2 of this home-and-home series as the Stamps and Bombers continue to battle for top spot in the West. Action gets underway 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on TSN. Second touchdown of the year for Marcus Sales, who had a punt block and a fumble recovery off that into the end zone. And a big one here to switch the momentum. Medlock lines this downfield. And Williams back across the 20, and Nick Allen, the University of Toronto product, with a big hit, but he's been shaken up, and so too is Williams, as the Bombers really are coming out flying on the teams. There's the leading rusher in the CFL, and speaking of that game on Friday night, we better get there early.
Look at that.
For the Andrew Harris bobblehead.
And this is why, Chris, if you're trying to tackle Andrew Harris, first of all, stiff arm is one of his best. That's one of his best moves. But you don't look at the head, because if you look at the head, you're going to miss him. And look right at the belt buckle.
Allen still getting attention. One of the young teamers for Mike O'Shea. We mentioned Exume at 24 special teams tackles. Mike Miller tied for second all time in the CFL with 24, and Hallett made his 13th with that stop on Terry Williams. So for as good as Calgary's offense has been, the first turnover of the game puts them in the trail position. Mitchell, and this one intercepted. Winston Rose has got it. That's his 9th of the year. It's back-to-back turnovers on consecutive plays, and the Bombers are in business.
Wow, look at the Calgary Stampeders lost one of their last 6, and they got into turnover trouble. It was against Montreal. They turned it over 5 times, and they're starting to do it again. Ante Leader was the intended target. He's the guy who fumbled on the last play. Scoop and score for Sales, and Winston Rose with number 9.
League leading total. And since 2007, only 2 players have had 10 interceptions or more. Ed Geedy in 17. Ryan Phillips in 2007. Rose now 1 away. And Winnipeg first down at the 27. The jet sweep to the speedster. Lucky Whitehead to the outside. Inside the 5. Touchdown.
Didn't lock him up.
Well, you saw his explosive running style there.
That fly sweep is one of the reasons that Andrew Harris has had the big year he's had, because Andrew Harris is the lead blocker on this play, but that fly sweep keeps you honest defensively. It gets you outside, makes you widen his defensive ends. Whitehead with his great speed got the corner.
Didn't lock him up.
Points off turnovers are so important, and with that interception deep in their own end, Winnipeg wastes no time putting it in the end zone.
25-yard touchdown run. And Whitehead has his 3rd touchdown of the year.
Come on, man. Come on, nigga.
Jamari Gilbert shaken up on that play. But what a momentum turn. That happened as quickly as the weather change here at McMahon. So Gilbert, who got in last week with the injury to Trey Roberson, hobbles to the sidelines.
Yeah, Roberson out this week. He missed all of the last game, basically. That was the first play, as you see Roberson not dressed tonight. So it'll be Raheem Wilson that'll play that short side corner. Jamari Gilbert, who he'll have to sit out 3 plays. He gets to the field.
Medlock with the convert, 17 points in a minute 43 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. and a 20-11 lead. Interception by Rose. And Lucky Whitehead, lucky number 7, rolls in from 25 yards out.
Fly sweep with Lucky Whitehead coming this way. Watch Kasher come up and try and slow play it, but to do it the way Kasher does it, who missed most of last game because he was ejected, he steps up here. Now, he doesn't have the speed to run down and turn down Whitehead inside. A block by Andrew Harris on Nate Hawley, a block by Dembski on Mechie, and in goes Lucky Whitehead.
First rushing touchdown of the year for Whitehead. 3rd touchdown on offense, and also a kick return touchdown. So Winnipeg by 9. Terry Williams not going to reach the 20 on the return as that special teams group is fired up. A couple of turnovers and a couple of Winnipeg touchdowns.
Yeah, Ante Leader, the snow started to come down the wind, and the strip, scoop, and score from Marcus Sales. That got things started. Very next play offensively for Bo Levi Mitchell, picked off by Winston Rose, and Lucky Whitehead gets a couple of blocks from teammates out front of him. Good speed to the corner. And just like that, old Mo is wearing a Bombers jersey.
Only 3 games this year, the Stamps have committed more turnovers than their opponents. Mitchell, a crosser. Josh Huff's got it, and at a big hill, couldn't reach him. And Huff up-ended across the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I'm sure Dave Dickinson just said to Mitchell, you know, nothing changes. You're playing great. You're seeing it. You're putting it to where it's supposed to go. That last one, obviously, he wants back the interception, but take a look at that first quarter for Mitchell. He was basically 9 of 9, if not for 3 drops. So he's seeing the field. Nothing changes. Just keep running the offense.
162 yards passing, minus 12 rushing for Calgary. And early movement, flags fly.
Ante Leader came out of the backfield.
We've got procedure. The whole line moved prior to the ball being snapped. This is a 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
Wondering if Derek Dennis at left tackle moved because he saw his tailback fly right by him, trying to hit that in motion. Started a chain reaction. Dennis missed last week. They moved Ucambre Williams out to tackle.
Still 1st and 15. One almost jumped. Colton Hunchak looking for a flag. Marcus Rios ran through him, and pass interference the call.
Yeah, that was early contact. Could see it live right down below us here. Made contact, hit Hunchak.
Defensive pass interference. Winnipeg number 39. This is a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down for Calgary.
Rios the nickel, replacing the injured Anthony Gator. He was thinking about another turnover here.
Yeah, early contact from behind, and had the right arm right around the neck. Colton Hunchak.
Still 1st and 10. Here comes the blitz. Mitchell sidestepped it. Ante Leader taken down hard. Jackson Jeffcoat with the tackle with Leader into Winnipeg territory with a Stampeder first down.
Big Hill times up his blitz nicely here, but it's picked up front by Ucambre Williams. Now the Stampeders have Ante Leader out of the backfield as a hot receiver. So there's the blitz pickup, hot receiver out of the backfield, so that they don't necessarily even have to block it. Bo Levi Mitchell has a release valve there.
And got 12, first down. Pocket collapsing. Mitchell able to spin out of there. And he got Hunchak can't hang on. Kyrie Wilson there defensively. And is that the fourth drop of the game, or did Wilson maybe knock it out of his hands? Let's take another look.
I wonder, because it looked like one that was very catchable for Hunchak, who last week, Bo Levi Mitchell told us, hey, he did touch it. He tipped it. Tipped it just past him. He told us that Hunchak is really coming on. He trusts him and believes in him. Pretty good pocket negotiation just to get that out of there from Mitchell.
So 2nd and 10. Bomber 51. 4 receivers near side. And again, the pocket collapsing. This time, Mitchell is going to be dropped. Kongbo and Jeffcoat, but a flag is down. And it's deep in the Bombers secondary.
Not sure where this penalty was, but Mitchell wanted to go to the single
Illegal
side.
contact on the receiver. Winnipeg number 39. This is a 10-yard penalty that will result in a first down for Calgary.
The Rios flag for the 2nd time on this drive.
It was on Eric. Eric Rogers was the intended target. Marcus Rios gets his 2nd penalty. There's Rogers, there's Rios. Can't touch the receiver and redirect him past 5 yards. He's about 7, 8 when he makes contact.
Drive started on the Calgary 18, now to the 41. Here's Leader. And the Leader runs hard down to the 33-yard line, close to 8. Trying to get the bad taste of that fumble out of his mouth.
Yeah, you can guarantee that he wants to have a few more of these type of plays. Really nice cutback to the backside of the play. Nice hole opened up. Looked like Eric Rogers got a block on Winston Rose. Nice kick out block on that motion. 8-yard gain. He's coming off that 8 for 43-yard game against Saskatchewan. Kind of surprised the Rider defense.
6 foot, 232, and runs a 4.6 40. And gets the edge here, and trying to hurdle down to the 20.
Sales was supposed to go down low on him, supposed to hit him down in the legs to cut him down, and he didn't do it.
So maybe not a hurdler at
Well,
Fraser, but
yeah, he just didn't get the hurl. It was nice. It was nice cut and getting outside, and then watch this at the end. He thought Sales was going to go down low and try to cut his legs out, and he didn't. He stood up and went, oh, okay. Well,
probably used to guys having to go low against a big bruising back like that. Another first down. Mitchell over the middle, looks for Rogers, and almost picked off into traffic there. Adam Big Hill was dropping deep along with the safety, Brandon Alexander.
And there's another guy. I mean, you remember that first series, in the 3rd pass of the first series, in the end zone, open behind coverage, number 4, had a chance at it and missed it, so he wants to make amends. 8 receiving touchdowns on the season for Eric Rogers. He's money when he gets in the green zone.
2nd and 10, Terry Williams now in the backfield. He releases, 6 out. Mitchell over the middle, touchdown! Reggie Pangleton has his 2nd of the night.
Oh, and the accuracy on that throw was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding throw. Trail coverage with help over the top, and Mitchell, look at that. He can't even see the receiver.
If Rios has his head turned the other way,
It hits him. It almost hits him. I mean, he can't help but catch it if he turns, but by the design of the coverage, he wants to be in that trail so that Bo has to try and throw it over his head to get there. He didn't. Wow, what a throw.
21-yard touchdown. Pangleton's 2nd of the game now for 2, and they got that. Eric Rogers has his 4th two-point play of 2019. It's a 1-point game on a impressive march by the Stampeders. 10 plays, 77 yards. There's Pangleton with the touchdown catch, his 2nd of the evening.
Shoulder makes shapes in the cloud. Straight
tough series for Marcus Rios, because this is outstanding trail position in coverage. I mean, he can't cover in a trail position any better. He's got over-the-top help here from his safety, Brandon Alexander, so he wants to stay in the back hip and stay in that trail position. He can't cover it any better. They're expecting Bo to throw it with a little bit of air under it, and that would bring Alexander. But watch what Bo does. He throws it a fraction of an inch to the outside arm of Rios. I don't even know how Begelton saw it coming.
Another one of those short kicks that we saw last week. Shane Gauthier, one of the up men, fields it. And Winnipeg's got decent field position up at the 40-yard line.
What's up, Beaumont, Texas? What's up, family? Alyssa, Mom, Dad.
I mean, first of all, how did Begelton see it? But for Bo Levi Mitchell to throw that with, you have to trust that it's all going to work out. Run it a little bit further, guys, and look what Bo was looking at. Mitchell is looking right here at, look at that. He can't see his receiver. He's got to trust that he's going to keep with his route, and it's going to just flash as it goes past the defender. I mean, that's as accurate a throw as I've seen.
8 touchdown catch in the last 7 games for Reggie Begelton. Well, for 2 minutes, it looked like it was in a bit of disarray on that Calgary sideline, but they pulled it back together with an impressive touchdown march. Officially 9 plays, 92 yards for the touchdown.
I think you're looking at an MOP candidate right there, number 84. I mean, mention the games that Mitchell has missed.
Chase Middleton getting attention on the field after that last kick cover. Regular season coverage of Tangerine Raptors basketball gets underway on TSN Friday at Divisional Clash. The NBA champions meet the Celtics. Tip-off at 7 Eastern or Pacific.
We may see some receivers on the podium this year in the MOP category.
It could very well be that. We watched Brian Burnham strengthen his case last night.
Talk about great catches. Wow. The one that didn't count was
Brandon Banks adding to his portfolio today. Reggie Begelton came in 3rd in the league and in receiving yardage, now 9 touchdowns. Middleton being helped to the sidelines.
I know Rider fans that are watching, and I know they're watching because, in fact, they're cheering for Winnipeg, I believe. But they're saying their guy, Cody Fajardo, should be in that discussion.
And here's Andrew Harris.
Yeah.
And I did some research this week, Suits. I did a lot of it. And I have yet to find any memo, email, or clause that says Andrew Harris is no longer eligible for the MOP.
Well, he's got to get out of his team. He's got to get out of the vote from the Bomber media, and then he gets into the national vote. But I agree, and a lot of discussion on whether or not the 2-game suspension should affect the voting. My opinion is that it shouldn't. Well, my Twitter will light up a little bit on that, but that's okay.
We're all entitled to our opinion.
Absolutely.
And Andrew Harris plows ahead to midfield, and I think with that, he should hit 14,000 yards all time. It makes him the 7th player in Canadian Football League history in that elite group.
If he stays healthy and finishes it out the regular season, he's going to hit a career high in rushing yards. Over 14,000 now. That's 7th.
Darren Flutie next, and a guy the Calgary Stampeders fans were wowed by for many years, the great Alan Pitts. So quarterback keeper, and Strebler's got a first down. Hits the deck in around the 43-yard line, but that moves the chains for Winnipeg.
You know, and for most of the year, or a lot of the year anyway, Andrew Harris has been the team's leader in receiving yards.
And just helps bring Strebler with a block. Harris #1 in rushing, and Strebler 6th in the league. Set a Bomber record for most rushing yards by a quarterback in a season with his efforts last week. And here's Whitehead trying to get to the edge. Cuts it back. Whitehead slippery and then gets pasted by Cordero Law. And we get to the 3-minute warning on what's been a really interesting playoff-like first half at McMahon. Thank you, Rod. 1-point game. Winnipeg threatening here as they have a 2nd and short at the Stampeder 34-yard line. Scrubber's going to throw. Flag comes down, open target, and it's Kenny Lawler, touchdown. Well, let's find out what the flag's all about, as they use a gadget play on 2nd and less than a yard, and it is against Calgary. It's a Kenny Lawler touchdown.
Calgary defensive line. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Third touchdown of the year for Kenny Lawler.
Take a look. I mean, you think it's Strebler all the way. He sells it by leaning in as if he's going to run that quarterback sneak. The DBs and linebackers move towards the line of scrimmage. It only takes a step or two for Kenny Lawler to get in behind, and what a response to the Mitchell touchdown throw to Begelton.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's fucking go, man.
A 7-point lead, and Medlock to kick the convert. Well, some of the analytics guys with a 7-point lead would be saying go for 2 and make it 9, but they have Medlock, who's automatic, and it expands the lead to 8.
Royce Mechie got one of the game balls in the game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders last week, and this time he's got 2 back there going deep. One is Lawler, and Mechie's going to take one of them, stop it there, and he's got Lawler going down the middle. That's the most dangerous, so if he stays square, he might have had a chance, but he's got another threat that he wants to try and help. So Lawler crosses his face, gets in behind coverage, and Strebler fools him. See how he leaned in there as if he was just going to follow behind his center. Those are tough throws to make. The quarterbacks will tell you when you got a guy wide open behind everybody and the trick play has worked, you have a tendency to try and aim it. When you aim it, you get in trouble. He just threw it up there, and Lawler took it home. Nice play call by Paul LaPolice, the OC.
Dug a little deeper into that very deep playbook of his. Perfect time to use it, though, on 2nd and inches from in Calgary territory. A 34-yard touchdown, 5 plays, 70 yards. And back to an 8-point lead. Josh Huff from his 2-yard line. And gets bumped out by Sales, just short of the 25. Kick cover's been good for Winnipeg here in this first half.
Well, you know you're a good team and you're a playoff-bound team when you can counterpunch. And Mitchell goes down, scores to Begelton on a great throw. Counterpunch from a nice drive from the Bombers, and there's time here for more points.
198, and the first half's not done for the gunslinger. Started at the Stamps 24. The pump and then underneath the Huff. And a pickup of about 5. Wilson there with help from the middle linebacker, Big Hill. Well, big play coming up here because a Winnipeg stop. They get the ball back with some time to add to the lead. But the Stamps thinking about a late second quarter drive to get even if they can. Try to set up the screen, but not going to work. What a great play by Kyrie Wilson, snuffing out the screen and forcing Calgary to punt the football away.
Yeah, they tried to fool Winnipeg by putting 4 receivers out to the outside, to the wide side of the field. So they've got all their receivers over here, and what they want to do is sneak Ante Leader out. But watch the reaction time of number 19, Kyrie Wilson. Make it look like you're blocking, and then just sneak out of the backfield with O-line in front of you. Wilson beat him.
He made the break with Ante Leader here. Rob Maver punts it. Janarian Grant at the Winnipeg 35. 49-yard punt. And he brings it back 13. And so the Bombers, with 1:10 left here in the opening half, in decent field position, try and add to this 8-point advantage. Ram at the half coming your way shortly. Strebler was 71 passing yards, but he's run for 45, and he does have that touchdown pass to Lawler. We'll start with Harris. Not much. Couple there before Cordero Law, who's had a tremendous season in a year where there's been a lot of outstanding defensive ends. Cordero Law, another tackle.
He got some help too from Royce Menchie, who had come down from the safety spot, and he's on the backside. So Cordero Law picks him up high and cuts him off, and Menchie from the backside.
Second and 8, quarterback draw. Strebler breaks one tackle, then gets pushed back in midfield. Nate Hawley drives him back, and Strebler felt the effects of that tackle.
Boy, did he ever, yeah, he's...
That doesn't look good, and that's been, I guess, a concern for quite some time when Chris Strebler runs as much as he does.
It would look like he was favoring the right wrist, right arm.
Third down and...
Oh, he got underneath the helmet.
3rd and 2. One team a little slow getting out for Winnipeg.
Strebler had to go off. I don't think he be able to grip the ball.
Medlock punts it away. Bounces on the turf, and it's going to skip to the sidelines and not allow for a return. So Calgary backed up at the 10 with not much time left. Take another look at Strebler.
He's trying to shake it off. It looks like he'll be okay. I mean, he's... But what's the right arm? Because it looked like McManus, he was driving down. And watch McManus's helmet at the bottom of that pile there. It looked like he landed right on his forearm and hand.
He's going to have to try and recover. And the Stampeders are going to run the clock out here. They had an 11-3 lead, but a 24-8 run for the Bombers with those 2 turnovers by Calgary. Clock's drained. Mitchell takes a knee, first half done. Lots to talk about, 27-19. The Bombers with the lead. Let's check in with the panel and join Rod Smith.
All right. Stamps TV, sideline reporter Alana Nolan is
Marcus, got to ask you about those 2 big turnovers by your defense, obviously turning into points.
Yeah, we just knew that we needed to get, turnovers. The offense is a really good team, and, we need to force turnovers to keep, the game, the momentum of the game keep going. So as long as we can score on defense, our offense is going to have a good time, scoring points on offense.
Can you talk a little bit about that mentality and how do you continue that in the second half?
Yeah, that's just what our defense is. It's important that we get turnovers because, as long as we can score on defense, everything is going to, the flow of the game is going to be way easier for our offense. So that's just important for us, and that's just what we need to continue to do. Continue to get the ball out, continue to take turnovers, and we'll be fine in this game.
Thanks for this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Back in Calgary as we get set for the second half, 27-19 Winnipeg. A pair of touchdowns for Reggie Bagleton of the Stampeders, standing by with Jermaine Franklin.
Reggie, 2 touchdowns in that first half. Can you talk about your first half and the offense overall?
I had a pretty good first half. I had that first drop at the very beginning, but I mean we're still losing, so it really doesn't matter. We're gonna come out here and we're gonna give it to them.
Plenty of work to do in the second half. Turnovers was an issue in that first half. How does the offense avoid that for the rest of the game?
We just got to settle down. We got to put that behind us. We just got to settle down and play our ball, do our job, and just keep going.
Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Big question as we get set for the second half. The status of Chris Strebler didn't look like he was really gripping the ball with confidence as he went to the sidelines, but when he comes out for the second half, it looks like he's ready to go.
And that was tough. He kind of shook his head when he talked to Mike O'Shea, but I think he's coming back out.
One of these short kicks, and Janarian Grant runs up on it and takes it up to the 45-yard line. Nate Hawley, the tackle. Good field position for Chris Strebler, right back to work.
Real late in that first half, here's what happened. Went McManus on a hit on Strebler just as the first half was coming to an end, and just kind of the helmet right on the right forearm. Did not grip the ball after that, was real reluctant to even hold the football in the right hand as he went off at halftime, but he is back out here to start the second half.
71 yards passing, he had 51 on the ground, 119 yards on the ground, and an interception to start this second half. And it's picked off by Raheem Wilson, who's got his second of the year.
I was going to say that the Bombers in the first half created 2 turnovers. They lead the league in creating turnovers defensively. They now have 45. Number 2 on that list, the Calgary Stampeder defense. There's the intended target on the curl route, and Raheem Wilson, who's gone into the boundary and is probably the rookie nominee for the Calgary Stampeders in the awards, jumps one.
Same spot that Trey Roberson picked off 7. Wilson takes his spot and comes up with a big interception to kick off this second half for the Stampeders. First down at the Winnipeg 51. 4 receivers near side. Mitchell looks the other way and has a completion to Sindani. Winston Rose takes him down. First down for the Stampeders. Second catch of the game for Sindani, the Regina product.
And to say sudden change situation here for Bombers, it's real important for them to limit this to a field goal. 14 points off the 2 turnovers for Winnipeg in the first half.
First down draw, leader, good run, crashing down around the 25. And that's a first down for the Stampeders. Brandon Alexander, the safety at the bottom of the pile.
That's tough on safeties. This is a tough one on safety, especially when you have a big back at 6 foot 232, gets the pad level down, and yeah,
you'll be having Mike Pringle nightmares tonight after watching that. Good to see Richie Hall back in his familiar perch. Our condolences to the Hall family, the passing of Richie's younger brother a short time ago. And Rogers went up, couldn't bring it down. That's would have been a tough catch, but another in that drop category for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Remember, Ante Leader in the first half was the first turnover, so Bo Levi Mitchell, as quarterback, goes and coaches him up a little bit on just how to protect it when he's going to face contact. And take a look. Here's that big run and hit. He delivers on the safety, Brandon Alexander, and he tried to get the arm up to protect it like his quarterback taught him. You heard Matt Dunnigan say before the game that Bo Levi Mitchell has a great ability to get the best out of his receivers, whether they're young or veterans.
2nd and 10, a pump, and now he'll fire it, and it's broken up. Great close by Rose to jar it loose there from Bingleton.
Yeah, I think Rose timed that up pretty well. I mean, he came from outside in, almost looked like he hesitated. Bingleton thinks he got hit in the head from behind. I'm not sure if Rose didn't just go with the shoulder pads and led with the sort of the chest on this hit. He wanted to time it up.
Perfect time.
Absolutely, and took his head out of it too. Did not duck his chin down and lead with the crown of his helmet. He kept his helmet above the hit, led with his chest. Great play and timing from Winston Rose.
So a 32-yard field goal attempt. Paredes is good. And it's 3 off that interception by Wilson.
It really is.
27-22 Bombers. Get ready for all new episodes of the suspenseful hit from Stephen King and J.J. Abrams, Castle Rock, season premiere Wednesday at 9 Eastern, only on CTV Sci-Fi Channel. And a look at the Grey Cup suites in the end zone here at McMahon Stadium. Had a view inside last week, and they do look good for the 107th Grey Cup. The end of November. And up inside to Harris, and he patiently works his way up to the 45 and a first down run for Andrew Harris.
Taking orders, all the suites heated, so you can sit out, watch a little of the game, go in and warm up depending on the weather, and it could be a nice night here at Grey Cup Sunday. Never know in Calgary.
You had me at heated.
But either way, can I take your order, sir? We have to wait for a quarter and a half here. But
10-yard run for Harris. We'll give him the ball back off the left side, and he'll spin back for 8 more. Back-to-back solid runs. We mentioned he hit 14,000 yards from scrimmage. He was 81 yards away from 9,000 rushing coming into the game.
you know, it's just he's got it all. I mean, he's got the power when he needs it. He can make himself small in the hole when he needs to. Great spin move. One of the best spin moves I think I've seen covering the Canadian Football League.
38 yards away from 9,000 rushing yards in his CFL career. 2 yards away from a first down. And he'll get that and more as he chugs into Calgary territory at the 49-yard line. Excuse me, that was Dembski this time. Dembski, the ball carrier, and a first down.
Brandon Smith, the veteran's trying to get things organized here. There's Nate Hawley. Remember, there was some changes in the linebacking core because Jamar Wall was out, so they had to go with Lorenzo Jerome last week, and just trying to get him lined up right. And if you hesitate against this run game for the Bombers, they're going to pick up some yards.
Second rush for Dembski in the game. He has 14 yards. And they fake the hitch, and Strebler takes off again, and he's going to run for a first down. So there's the grand attack that we were anticipating, and it's chewing up some yardage here.
Patty Neufeld's got to get out of his way now. He's, you know, you either go and lead block or got to lead follow or get out of the way, man. That's basically it. Watch Patty Neufeld here get caught in the wash. He knows it's the draw, so he takes his man. Now he's going to go find somebody. And then he gets in the way of Strebler, and then he's like, oh no, I'm not.
Well, he was hunched over again. Doesn't look like Strebler's really comfortable. Run for 61 in the game. First down. Back in the hands of Harris, and he runs into a wall, and pushed back there by Derek Wigan, the big defensive tackle.
Well, successful running drive so far, but now in 2nd and long, this you're going to find out if Strevler can grip the ball well enough to make the throw. Now the other option here for Paul Lapalese could be screen draw, which wouldn't be a bad call in plus territory to Andrew Harris.
Drops back underneath to Harris. And Harris, Jamar Wall there with a sure tackle to contain Harris at the 35. And the field goal unit will come on.
Basically the same thought, only because it's not the, you can see that Strevler is laboring, but you get Andrew Harris out of the backfield on that 2nd and long, but with no blocking help in front of him. The screen would get an O-lineman or two out in front of him.
Medlock from 41 yards out. Trying to restore that 8-point lead they had at halftime. And Medlock up and good, as he usually is. 8 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. Still an 8-point Winnipeg lead at McMahon. Well, we're monitoring Chris Strevler getting it out on the Winnipeg sidelines. With more, let's check in with Jermaine Franklin.
That's right, CC, and gutting it out is a good way of putting it. You know, he seems pretty amped up during the breaks here on the sideline. He's been tossing the ball. He's been pounding his chest, letting his teammates know that that last interception was all on him. One thing about Strevler is he's a different breed when it comes to quarterbacks and contact. He does not try to avoid it. In fact, he told me yesterday that he kind of enjoys it, and he's inspired by his offensive line and the way they can move the pile. Now, he has been advised to avoid the hit when he can by Buck Pierce, a quarterback that has had his fair share of injury troubles. And I just wanted to point out the fact that the Stampeders want to treat Strevler just like a running back as soon as he crosses that line of scrimmage. And I think we saw a few examples of that in this game.
You know, you watch him down there. I mean, he is pacing the sideline. He's like Grizzly Adams down there, man. And again, Chris Strevler against a Bear, I'm taking 17. I'm taking 17.
2nd and 8 here for Mitchell. Has some time, guns it to an open target. It's a 1st down. Bingleton to catch up here midfield. Just a final thought on Strevler as you see him conferring with Buck Pierce. It's funny that Buck Pierce would be telling Strevler to avoid the hits. That's,
yeah.
Like, do as I say, not as I used to do.
Exactly. You know, as Jermaine mentioned earlier, it's evolved to understand player safety and the importance of it, and we know more now than we did when Buck Pierce was back behind center.
15-yard connection to Bingleton, a 1st down for Mitchell. And he's got time. He's going to go long here. And it's another PI, Winston Rose this time. With his hands all over Josh Huff.
Yeah, there was no question about that one. I mean, it was an inside move, and
defensive pass interference. Winnipeg number 30. Point of the infraction. Automatic 1st down, Calgary.
Winston Rose, you know, he basically, it was almost like he said, I'm either going to do this or I'm going to give up a touchdown. And just a little inside fake there by Huff. He's going to come inside, and then he takes off, and now Rose feels like he's in trouble here, grabs him with the left arm, twists him around. No question on pass interference there.
30-yard penalty on number 30, and it's a 1st down at the Bomber 28-yard line. Showing pressure. Here they come. Mitchell gets it out of his hands to Rogers. Dragged down around the 15-yard line by Chandler Fenner. So the Stamps back in the red zone.
Monte Leader picks up the wide blitzer. They're coming from a lot of different areas. You got Big Hill coming up the middle. Bergman takes care of him. Leader takes care of the outside. Inside cut from Eric Rogers, who needed that catch. He's been fighting it.
And with that catch, Eric Rogers over 1,000 yards for the second time in his career. First down Stamps. Mitchell over the middle. Catch made. Kyrie Wilson brings down Sindani. Down inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Rogers needed that one. That was a big catch for a first down and got him over 1,000, but more importantly, I think he got him back on track, back in the groove, because he's got a couple drops tonight. He's fighting it.
2nd and 2. Give it to Leader, and he's got the first down, and it's 1st and goal down at the 3-yard line. Well, he had over 1,400 yards in 2015 and has hit that coveted mark once again.
Great wingspan. He loves the top end, the top cylinder. He wants to be from the waist up. That's the target area for Bo Levi Mitchell.
1st and goal from around the 2.5. It's Monty Leader trying to power his way in. Touchdown! First Canadian Football League start for Monty Leader, and he hits Painter here to get the Stamps within a 2-point convert of even.
That'll make the feeling of that fumble go away for Ante Leader. Contributing not just down on the goal line, but on the entire drive, and how about the drive to get across the line. Took a couple of Bomber defensive linemen with him.
So 6th play, 75-yard touchdown drive.
Another nice block by Shane Bergman. Maybe the #1 rated offensive lineman for the Calgary Stampeders is big number 60 at left guard.
Stamps 9 for 14 in 2-point converts. Looking to tie it here. Pressure on Mitchell, back for Huff, and he's got it. And the game is tied, so the Stampeders with 3 2-point converts, and they get even here. And Mitchell is dancing, and so are Huff and Leader after a touchdown drive that ties the game at 30 apiece.
Nice touchdown drive led by Bo Levi Mitchell, got Begelton involved, and Eric Rogers on a key 2nd down catch after a couple drops in this game. That gets him back and involved again. Sindani over the middle, picked up the blitz, and Ante Leader, nice hard 3-yard run.
Had a touchdown in his rookie year, his first major of 2019. And with the 2-point convert, Calgary ties it. Janarian Grant up across the 30-yard line, and that's where the Bombers will go back to work on offense, trying to break this 30-all tie late in the 3rd quarter.
While you may not see it, your paint is being assaulted by damaging particles and pollutants. Mother's Speed Clay 2.0 packs a high-performance cleaning punch, restoring brilliance to your car's finish in record time. Speed Clay 2.0 from Mother's.
As a CIO, you want to move your business forward, but when your team is always dealing with device setups, app updates, and support calls, you can never seem to get anywhere. That's why Dell Technologies created Unified Workspace, powered by VMware. A revolutionary solution that lets you deploy, manage, support, and secure all your devices from the cloud, so you can stop going in circles and start moving forward.
Chris Streveler, the leading rusher among quarterbacks in the league, 61 on the ground today. Dave Dickinson wanted his team and the officials to be ready for the running quarterback tonight.
The thing that we got to make sure, and the referees have to make sure, is that when he's running the ball, he's a running back. I mean, this is not a quarterback running the football. He lowers the boom so that we have to make sure that we can lower the boom as well. Now, I wasn't sure he'd be able to last like a long, long career doing it, but man, he's strong.
I think that's fair. I mean, you know, I know what Coach Dickinson was referring to, that, you know, that quarterbacks are protected differently than other players as far as the rules go, but that's in the pocket. And when Strebler gets out and runs, he is a tailback.
And we haven't seen any calls that would be an issue with that tonight. Look back, we've made the comparisons to Buck, but not sure there's been many quarterbacks at all quite like Chris Strebler. That pass batted down. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, Chris Strebler and Cody Fajardo, for that matter, the top 2 running quarterbacks in the league, have more rushing yards than 4 teams' tailbacks. Very different story, even for Calgary, who've run the ball by committee this year due to injuries.
So 2nd and 10. Dembski stays in the block. And pass caught by Whitehead, and he'll be close to a first down beyond the 40-yard line. Might be a yard short, so Mike O'Shea could have a decision here.
A good second effort there from Lucky Whitehead, because he was about 2 yards short when he caught the ball, but he knew where he was on the field and where the marker was. So when he caught it, he turns up quickly and fought for another yard, maybe yard and a half. He can make it close.
Full yard. The coach does his survey, but he's already sent out Mike Miller, Cody Speller, and the heavy team trying to get that extra yard, and Strebler able to push ahead for the first down.
Well, kind of like his career, Brandon Smith, who's having another solid game leading that Calgary defense, has decided that this will be his last season.
Always has flown under the weather to a certain extent, but you have to admire the entire resume.
Remarkable career, 627 tackles is a ton from the secondary. 3 Grey Cup rings.
I mentioned Alondra Johnson. I neglected to add Mark McLaughlin, the only 3 with 3 Grey Cup rings of the Stampeders.
Turn that play
there by Cordero Law.
Play made by Smith, and you know, it's kind of remarkable to me that he's only been a CFL All-Star 1 year, and because, you know, I know there's flashier players, and often voters will always look at interceptions, and he hasn't led the league in interceptions, but if you have 12 Brandon Smiths on your team, you win championships, because he shows up prepared every game. He is the consummate pro that will play consistently every game. You know exactly what you get from him, and he'll lead others. He'll get the best out of the younger guys around him. And like I say, you get 12 of those guys. You might not win the MOP awards and the flashy awards and stuff, but you win championships.
And also very active in the community. This part of the Every Yard Counts program the Stamps have. Hospital visits. There he is with Alex Singleton. We're looking forward to his first game with the Eagles tomorrow. A guy that's been to the Grey Cup 6 times and hoping it'll be 7 before his distinguished Canadian Football League career is over. Cordero Law to the sidelines, shaken up, a 2nd and long, and they dump it off here to Harris. Makes the first man miss and gets to midfield for a first down. The 12th touch for Harris in the game. And you kind of established early that you think 20 is critical for the Bombers.
Well, 20 and they win. I mean, 20 and they have a winning record in a big way. And if they don't get it 20 times to Andrew Harris, then they're 500. 25 and 25 is their record. So it's pretty simple math, and getting Harris the ball is key.
Short-changed to one that's 13 touches now. 4 catches, 9 carries. And The ball gunned low, but
Right,
picked up there. Nice catch by Rasheed Bailey. Wasn't touched. And picks it up and gets a couple extra. Now they are going to mark him back at the 41, but
wow. Well, he surrendered, and that's so he doesn't necessarily have to be touched if he surrendered. And he thought he did, but can you imagine if Calgary scooped this ball after he thought that the play was over and there was no whistle? So he wasn't touched. Well, he was touched.
Yeah, he was touched.
He was touched by Brandon Smith.
But the coach didn't see the touch. It was actually Mike O'Shea saying, "Get going." Final play, third quarter. Take to Harris. Come back the other way here, and it's Bailey again. It gets stacked up around the 38. So 3 on the final play of the third quarter, and we are tied at 30 coming home. Stamps love to pass the ball. Bombers love to rush the football, and they're both playing to their strengths tonight, and we're dead even.
They are. You can take a look at the net yards, almost even, in one by run, one through the air, and punch, counter punch between two good football teams. If this is a preview of the Western playoffs, I'm in, partner.
Well, sign us up. Sign us up. That last column, though, points off turnovers, critical so far. Got Winnipeg back in the game and had them controlling the game for a short time.
Yeah, and it may be a turnover that turns it, because they are answering each other. I mean, Bo Levi Mitchell with a drive. He puts it in the end zone on the Ante leader run, and then Winnipeg takes the next possession and in plus territory.
Darryl Law back in the game. 2nd and 7. Winnipeg at the Calgary 38-yard line. And Strebler's in some trouble. Gets away. And Strebler's going to get a first down. Boy, that's another top run for 17.
Well, first of all, how did he get out of there? Because it looked like he was caught in the backfield by Mike Rose. If Mike Rose comes up the field here, he's basically secondary contained, and he just gets outside of him. Now, I think at the end of it,
Not going to bring him down with the jersey pull, though, are you? And he gets bit backwards there with another punishing hit, but Chris Strebler now with 11 carries in the game.
and I'm wondering if right about here, Mike Rose said, I don't want to get a horse collar. But that's what Dave Dickinson talked about in that clip we showed you. He talked about how strong he is running the football, and you got to treat him like a tailback.
So 2nd and 6 from the 26. Here they come. Strebler gets it out of his hands quickly, incomplete. Deshaun Amos there in coverage. Kenny Lawler, the intended target.
See, defensively, they trust each other. So the secondary trusts the front seven. If the front seven, they know it's got to go on a blitz, they call the blitz in the huddle. I'm not sure what Strebler's upset about. Did he get a little bit of a late hit here? Because Deshaun Amos comes downhill there with no fear that that's a double move, because he had pressure coming from up front, so he knows that Strebler wants to throw hot, and he jumped it.
Medlock sizing up a 33-yarder. Trying to break the tie, and does with his 4th field goal of the night. 33-30 Bombers. Early 4th quarter. Regular season coverage of NBA on TSN tips off Tuesday. Kawhi Leonard, remember him, and the new look Clippers head across town to take on LeBron James and the Lakers. Don't miss the Battle of Los Angeles Tuesday, 10:30 Eastern, 11:30 Atlantic on TSN.
There's Here's a guy that is having a very quiet night.
Yeah. Usually makes a huge impact and still could. Fake the leader, and that pass high and almost intercepted. Hit Chandler Fenner when Mitchell threw it over Hunchak.
Fenner was closing as if he wanted to make the tackle, playing safe and making the tackle first. But you got to give credit to Kazatati and Derek Dennis for keeping it quiet. Also, the quick release of Bo Levi Mitchell tonight. He's seeing it and getting the ball out quickly. It's harder for the defensive ends to get there.
Check did get his hands on that. 2nd and 10. 3-man rush. Crosser. First down. Huff with a lot more. And Josh Huff down inside the 35. Ran away from the Bomber defense. Finally tracked down by Winston Rose, but it's a 42-yard pass and run play.
Richie Hall moved Willie Jefferson inside to try and get some pressure from there. They take care of him in there. Ucombre Williams and Shane Bergman, they're just helping each other out, making sure he doesn't get there. Now Adam Bighill, one of the best tacklers in the game. Inside cut from Josh Huff, and away he goes for some yards after the catch.
41 yards, over 100 in the game. Second 100-yard game of the season for Josh Huff. Lots of time now running out, and underneath the pass is caught again by Huff. Should get Bo Levi Mitchell close to 300, maybe at 299.
I mentioned his last 4, he's been averaging 362. Only 400, the 400-yard game in there was the loss to Montreal. But turnovers after the fact. He had 1 interception in that game, but there were 4 fumbles from his receiving corps.
2nd 4 here. And that caught for a first down. And it's Charlie Power, the fullback. The 7th different receiver for Mitchell in the game.
That's outstanding play calling from Dave Dickinson to, at just the right time, dig deep into that playbook and go outside on a little delayed tight end push route to Power. Pretty good contact at the end of it, but I love the call. Haven't seen it all night long. You get down there in plus territory and you run it, fool the defense.
Just Power's 2nd catch of the year, the 7th-year man out of Saskatchewan. Terry Williams was in the backfield. They're looking for Williams here, incomplete. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 17.
Neela Kazatati has almost talked this guy right here, Willie Jefferson, into this. Watch what happens here. No pass rush from him. He steps up the field. Kazatati's in real good position. Now he's just hanging there. Really not rushing or dropping back, kind of caught in between. I think these 2 tackles for Calgary have had a pretty good outing when you're keeping number 5 this quiet.
Stamps 2 for 3 in the red zone tonight. 2nd and 10. Bighill coming up, picked up. Underneath it goes Bengleton. Reggie Bengleton's got a 3rd touchdown on the night. They fought their way back into the lead.
Time to throw, blitz pickup, perfect up front. Get it out to Bengleton, let him do the rest, and he cuts inside on Marcus Sale.
Let's go, boy! Hey, let's fucking go, baby! Let's go!
Hey, 3 for Reggie Bengleton tonight.
So a 10th touchdown on the year for Bengleton. And they'll make it a 4-point lead here. 37-33, another 6-play, 75-yard drive, and another one capped by number 84.
Maybe it's the sun or that sun on you. I feel like burning up the afternoon. It's the summertime weekend.
It's at 2 for 3 here, but they were. Okay, I'm not really. Thank you, Rod. Calgary's had the ball 3 times in this second half. A field goal and a pair of touchdowns. And they rallied to take the lead. Lots of time, though. Here's the reverse to Jermarian Grant. First man misses, and Grant brings it across the 30-yard line.
I agree about the play of the O-line the guys just talked about for Mitchell in front of him. These are premier pass rushers. That's Willie Jefferson. That's Adam Big Hill. Watch how it's picked up. Ucombre Williams does a nice job. He takes his man. That's Willie Jefferson. They moved him all over the place. Bergman steps into a block. I mean, they were big on big across the board. Keeping Bo Levi Mitchell clean.
Now the Bombers' offensive line hunkers down. Andrew Harris, right side, bounces off first contact to the 39 and has 6.
See if Chris Strevler gets into it anymore with Wynton McManus. This was the end of the last drive. The two were on the field. Little trash talking after the fact. Andrew Harris gets involved a little bit. Not sure what was said there, but it started to escalate.
Second and 4. Strevler keeps. Well, let's see. They get to the 43, dropped a yard short. Cordero Law is there once again. And Strevler again slow to get up. 75 yards prior to that carry. 3 times this year he's hit that marker for. 90 is his, 95 is best of the season against Edmonton.
See if Wynton McManus, he got in there, got an extra shot on Strevler.
He's a throwback, that's for sure. 3rd and 1, and they're staying out again.
Oh boy, he's trouble moving.
3 for 3 so far tonight on 3rd downs, and is that enough of a push? Got forward progress, I think, before it got driven back.
Well, you have to admire. He is gutting it out. He's got to go out.
Yep.
He's got to go out.
Gonna have to go out now. And will it be Sean McGuire or could it be Zach Collaros?
Well, they're going to ask him to take a knee so they can at least get the training staff out there. He was going to walk off on his own, and that would have pushed.
It might be an ankle as he grabs that right leg.
That would have pushed Sean McGuire out there. I'm sure it'll be him at number 2. Collaros has only been there a couple of weeks, but let's see.
Sean McGuire is warming up along with Collaros. Guaranteed they made it yet, but yep, they do. Half the length of the football.
Well, that measurement and the fact that he's out and took a knee, training staff come out to him. Now they can allow the backup to warm up. This is the last hit that hurt the ankle. Kind of got twisted in bottom of the pile of 3. All 3 linebackers for the Stamps. He just says to his coach O'Shea, "I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be all right." He's going to try and get back in there.
So here's Sean McGuire, 23 years of age, Western Illinois, not taking a snap yet this year.
But the right way to go. He's been there all year.
Does Calgary dial up for McGuire? going to air it out on his first. And Whitehead stretched out, couldn't reach. Just a stride too far for lucky Whitehead.
Well, McGuire says, well, I'll tell you one thing, I can throw it deep. That was a flick of the wrist, and it was deep down that sideline. In fact, over through the target, lucky Whitehead, and Whitehead can run. I mean, he can fly. Didn't miss by much.
So 2nd and 10 at the 43. Here at McMahon. McGuire underneath, got Harris, and Nate Hawley hanging on to make sure he doesn't get loose. So the punt team will have to come on with 6.5 to go.
Is it just me, or is Andrew Harris grabbing his arm when he jumps up from tackles as well?
Yeah, he doesn't look comfortable hitting to the sidelines. That ball rolling down inside the 15, picked up by Huff. And Huff steps out. Down deep in Calgary territory, but the Stampeders with a 4-point lead. Going to be a huge Grey Cup week. Grey Cup 107 here at McMahon Stadium. Will one of these two teams be taking part? 4-point lead Calgary. They've got the ball at their own 17-yard line with under 6 minutes to go. 4-man rush. Pass incomplete, intended for Hunchak. The numbers that Mitchell has put up in the last 5 starts.
Yeah, as I mentioned, that Montreal game, the most yards, but that's what said stats aren't always telling the full story, but because that was the loss. But beyond that, all wins. And with a lead tonight, but more work to be done.
And 4 touchdown drives tonight, at least 75 yards in length, 1 of 92. 2nd and 10 to the wide side. Mayala's got it. And does he get the first down? It looks like he is there. Might have got stopped up inches short. Let's see. It is a first down. Urgi Mayala's 2nd catch of the game.
Quick decision to flip the shoulders around and get upfield. That's what he had to do. He knew where he was on the field. He knew he was 4 yards short. I've got fixated on these tackles and how they are controlling Jackson Jeffcoat and Willie Jefferson.
Huge story tonight. Leader, not much.
So now you got a 2nd and long. And this is where the guy who has 12 sacks on the year, that's a personal best season in what's been a great career for Jefferson. 15 knockdowns, 5 tackles for losses, and tonight it has been quiet from Jefferson.
The knockdowns, a record for defensive linemen. Deandrick Hansen into the game.
I think Jefferson's got a stat tonight.
2nd and long. Mitchell in trouble, and he will get trouble. Jackson Jeffcoat unloaded. A flag is thrown. And it's a helmet-to-helmet call that's going to negate what would have been an enormous sack.
Major foul. Roughing the passer. Winnipeg 94. Contact to the head. 15-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
So Jeffcoat thought he had 2 sacks tonight. One called back by a pass interference call, and this one a roughing the passer.
Take a look. There are circumstances here because Bo Levi Mitchell is spinning out of a tackle. So he spins out there, and then takes the hit on the inside. I'm going to see. Well, yeah, he does lead with the top, and the top of the helmet is the key and gets him right in the head. So Jeff Coat didn't argue or complain all that much about the call. He knew it.
Oh, we may get a challenge on the call, however. Mike O'Shea's arguing that he dipped his head and
he's
spun into it.
Yeah, he's saying there was circumstances. There was extenuating circumstances because
guys in Toronto, Winnipeg is challenging the ruling on the field of roughing the passer on the quarterback. The play will be reviewed.
Because they, what they discuss here when it comes to the hit to the quarterback's head is if he got spun around, or let's say he was trying to duck to avoid a hit, and that's when the contact happens. It's unfair to the defender to have to try to make the adjustment in full speed. I just, with the top of the helmet right on the chin of the quarterback, I'm not sure how they overturn that. Because he spins out of it with time, and you could see Jeff Coat lower his chin. And it's, by the way, it's not the crown of the helmet anymore. The wording has changed to the top of the helmet. That looked like it got the top and off to the W and the side of it, but it was right on the head and chin of Mitchell.
The Norma's call one way or the other.
They're not going to overturn that. There's no way they're overturning that.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Winnipeg is charged a timeout, and they're out of challenge.
They don't have another challenge, and that's a timeout. Timeout gone. And when Jeff Coat ducked his chin and led with the top of his helmet, they were not overturning that. And he really didn't even argue.
Costs him the timeout. That might come in handy in the late stages of this game.
How many times do you see that when a D-line has been really stifled at the line of scrimmage, they finally get home and they get a little over-aggressive.
Later, straight ahead. And gets to the 49, so about 5 yards. It's like we'll get one more play before the warning. And we've got an injured player. Looks like they're calling for some help for Adam Bighill.
Timer, please reset the clock to read 3 minutes, 5 seconds. Winnipeg called a timeout on the play. Timeout, Winnipeg.
Baker Diagnostics offers a more comfortable mammogram to make regular breast strain just a bit easier. Learn more at radiology.ca.
Well, we'll see what adjustments they make at the middle linebacker spot with Adam Bighill coming out for at least 3 plays. Do they move Thomas Miles in or Kyrie Wilson from the weak side linebacker spot into the middle? Six for leader on that carry, so 2nd and 4. And Wilson does move into the middle.
Sales up at linebacker.
The 2nd and 4 from the Stampeder 49. Final play before the warning. And Mitchell in trouble. That time he is dropped. They get home. Jake Thomas
big
with a huge sack for Winnipeg. So the Bombers are going to get the ball back when we return. The punt team will be on for Calgary. The Stampeders holding on to a 4-point lead down the stretch here. And McMahon in a huge game in the West.
It could be a Monday or a Friday or your Kentucky.
There's Chris Strebler, who's been respatted and ready to go.
Got a little of that Buck Pierce tough in him, because it looks like he's going to be back out there. Spat it up, took the shoe off, got it retaped, spat it up.
Rob Maber's first punt, second half. Janarian Grant at the 21. And Grant,
whoa, dropped it.
Popped the ball out. I think he caught his own fumble. But that was a nervous moment for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Yikes.
Whoa. Got spun around, I think, right? Oh, there it was a hit. And he just scooped it back up himself. Wow.
Metzelera got helmet on the football.
There we go.
Jermaine Franklin's down to the sidelines, and I don't think anybody had a choice. Apparently, Chris Trevor was just
He's coming back. He was coming back out.
Pressure on. Underneath it goes to Harris. And Harris up to the 35-yard line. Mike Rose there to make the tackle after 5.
One more hit on Strevler. It was Kadero Law who's going to get there, and it was just after. Strevler wanted to hold on here to try and sell the screenplay to Andrew Harris a little bit longer, so Law came clean, and he got hit by a couple guys there. You just Nate Hawley and Law.
2nd and 5. Have to get to the 40. Bouncing around. Trying to get to the edge ahead of Cardero Law. And dives close to the stick. Everybody helping mark it. He's going to be a yard and a bit short and limping again.
Like, gets up, sprints to the first down marker, and can barely get back to the huddle.
About a yard and a half short. And the coach not only has to assess the yardage, but whether or not his quarterback's got enough in him to get it.
Do you put Sean McGuire in on a short yardage play to take a hit away?
Well, just over a yard, and he's got it. Breaks the play to the 40 and keeps them alive.
Nate Hawley tried to time the snap count. I think he did pretty well. I don't see a penalty flag, but he went inside, and Strevler went just to the left of him. You're going to see, watch the Calgary Stampeders side of the line, and Nate Hawley, 1, 2, 3, goes. He times it up nicely. Strevler just slides to the left of that.
Might be letting Andrew Harris carry the football instead of Strevler from here on in. Going to pass here, over the middle into traffic, incomplete. Trying to get that one into Brandon Smith with the breakup on the pass intended for Bailey.
Sound player inside, didn't give it up. As he runs the curl, Brandon Smith runs it with him.
There's a reason he flies under the radar. Not much happens in his area.
And no trash talking after. Back to the next play, because that's the most important play. That's how 28 handles it.
2nd and 10. Short drop. The receiver fell. Pass incomplete. And Brandon Smith fell too. And wasn't able to reel in the interception. It'll be 3rd and 10 as they went back to back on passes to Rasheed Bailey.
Gotta leave him out there. Gotta leave him out there, Chris. Gotta go 142 here. You punt it, you're not getting it back, I don't think. Screen draws a risk now. You gotta throw it. Give your receiver a chance. Lucky Whitehead's down here at the bottom of your screen.
Defense has only had 2 2-and-outs for Winnipeg, so they will go on 3rd and 10. Strevler running out of time, and he's dropped. Taken down by Chris Casher, and it's a turnover on downs, and the Stampeders have the lead in the football with 1:36 to go.
Coaches, assistant coaches, teammates. Casher had a tough outing last week. Called on the hit on Cody Fajardo, was thrown out of the football game, disqualified. lighter in the pocketbook because of it, and makes the big play of the game.
First sack of the night for Calgary. Couldn't come at a better time. And the Stampeders call a timeout.
Calgary.
Hey, you got you a little spinning? You got you?
Timer, please reset the clock to read 1:36. 1:36.
So now best case scenario for the Bombers is 2 plays and a field goal.
1, 3, 6.
And then they'll need a touchdown to get back even, but they can get the ball back in a hurry with a quick stop here.
This is where when your strength is the run game and not the passing game, this is where you get in trouble. You need big chunks through the air, and Bombers just haven't been that team this year.
Leader taken down by Sale, short gain, 2nd and long.
If Calgary finishes this minute 31 off, they tie the season series, and they go at it again in Winnipeg next weekend.
What will be the status of Chris Strebler next week? Is Zach Collaros an option next week? A lot of questions to be answered this week. But this one's not done yet. They'll try the jam. Whoa! Dropped it! Back at the 41-yard line. And now they'll have to try a longer field goal. It'll be from at least 48. But fortunate that Huff just retains possession for Calgary.
Yeah, real lucky there because it was a D lineman. I couldn't get there it is, Jake Thomas, who's right there, and Huff scoops it, or else Thomas falls on that baby, and wow.
So Rennie Paredes is out, trying to make it a 7-point lead.
See Mitchell's reaction there, just a little smile like, yikes. Whitehead back there if he misses.
If Paredes is good, it'll be the most points Winnipeg has surrendered this year. And Paredes has missed. And is Whitehead bringing it out? He is. How far can he go? Up across the 20, and so still a little life in the Bombers. 36 seconds to work with.
That was a low snap, and that could throw the timing off these field goals in a hurry. Rob Mavers, the holder, watch the ball come down low right by the knee. Really tough for the holder to get that one around and get the lace out. So the laces were facing Paredes. That one, lucky that wasn't called. Andre Proulx right behind it. He saw it and said nope.
Dave Dickinson in the lather about that. Bombers have the ball at the 23. 36 seconds. And flags will fly as there was movement ahead of the snap.
Well, I think Dave Dickinson might have an argument
Offside.
there on that.
Offside. Calgary number 93. This is a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Wow.
Take another look, not just at the hold, but let's look at the hit. Was this late? Was the leg in the air and danger? Well, he's kind of stepped on his hand, so Paredes sold it after that, but say they got it right there.
1st and 5. Need big chunks now, and that one almost picked off. Royce Menchie in and out of his hands, and that would have been ball game.
Boy, for the Bombers, this is really where Darvin Adams is missed, because he is the deep threat guy, and Darvin Adams, you know, this is his world, his comfort zone. That was tipped.
Intended for Lawler. 2nd and 5. And Dembski's got the catch, won't have the first down. We'll see what forward progress is. Dragged down by Wint McManus, who's been busy today. That's a 10th tackle of the game for McManus, and it's 3rd and 2. Need 2 to keep it alive.
I don't know. That's good. Well, no, it looks like he fell forward. Yeah, he fell forward.
Got it, but we're gonna have to line up in a hurry here. A lot of real estate left to go here. 76 yards away from where they need to be. And that one for Whitehead.
Well, I think on that last play was the time to check it up. They're going to say that was a catch. He went down, got his hands underneath it. This gives him a chance.
Catch at the 49 and injured Stampeders, so that stops the clock. And nice play by Whitehead to secure that. It is Jabbar Westerman that was shaken up, getting attention. But time for only
maybe 2 if you go about intermediate to get yourself inside the plus 50 and then have the arm strength to throw it to the end zone from there. But I'm not sure Strebler can get it that deep from here.
A couple of 25-yard or 125-yarder to set something up.
To set it up, but you got to be quick. It's got to be an out route to the sideline, timing throw, out of bounds quickly. Or you dig deep into the playbook and do the old hook and ladders where you throw a curl and then try to just keep pitching it out and keep it alive.
Or you just send the fastest guy on the field as far as he can go. Lucky Whitehead. Only got one play now. Walker's running. Gun downfield. And it is intercepted. Deshaun Amos takes a knee. And this game is over. And the Calgary Stampeders have moved back into first place, matching the Rough Riders in wins, but with the tiebreaker. It was a beauty. It felt like the playoffs, and we'll do it all over again on Friday in Winnipeg. Time now for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by the Nissan Titan, ranked #1 in quality by J.D. Power.
Tonight was run against pass. The Calgary Stampeders, the #1 passing team in the league, and they showed it. Reggie Begelton had the hat trick tonight. 3 touchdowns for number 84. Bo Levi Mitchell over 300 yards passing. So tonight, pass beats run.
Huge night for Begelton. Bo Levi Mitchell, 337 yards passing, and those 3 touchdowns. Bombers had 17 points in 1:43 off a couple of turnovers. They had the lead, but couldn't hold on to it. So we'll do it all over next week. But in the regular season finale for the Calgary Stampeders, they win their 11th of the year and 7-2 at home in 2019. So long from McMahon. SportsCenter coming up next.